first few days of 1997, disaster struck the city of Sacramento, California. On New Year's Day, the rains started and they didn't stop. A 3-day storm dumped a record downpour, 2 to 3 feet. The dams couldn't hold back the raging waters. Overburdened, the levees began to give way. Those who lived nearby would barely escape. As the floodwaters mounted, they swept away everything in their path. Highways turned into waterways, and the land was swallowed up. In the flooding, 120,000 people were forced out of their homes. Farms, houses, and crops were destroyed. The damage would reach an estimated $2 billion, making it the most costly deluge in California history.
Oh, we've lost everything we have, but I was 2 minutes, I could have not been here, so I feel real lucky.
The city was in a state of emergency for days. Many neighborhoods were destroyed. But when the rain stopped, the threat did not end. The waterways were now swollen and powerful, and levees up and down the river were being washed away. Wherever people build in the floodplains, from Holland to China, they erect levees and dikes, trying to force swollen rivers into narrower channels. But often, this solution only makes the problem worse, raising the water to levels that cannot be held back. And as flood control experts say, there are only 2 kinds of levees, those that have broken and those that will. That's what was happening in Northern California. This part of the Central Valley was a web of rivers and waterways, controlled by more than 5,000 miles of levees. And one by one, the levees began to collapse. The waters rose and spread out across 300 square miles. People were still evacuating, saving what they could. And humans were not the only ones at risk. One story played out live on TV. Rodeo, a 4-year-old border collie, had been washed onto the roof of his house. His owner, Jan Thompson, pleaded for aid from the local television station.
Got to help him. He's worked so hard to live. He has to get down from there.
With the waters surging higher, Channel 3 sent out a chopper to rescue the trapped dog.
They risked their lives to get my dog, but he got him by the collar, and he lunged into the helicopter, and they slammed the door and took off as fast as they could. And the whole newsroom had a big burst of cheers that Rodeo was okay. Guys, how are you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Rodeo was one of the lucky ones. For many others, there would be no last-minute heroics. Humans were also forced to scramble to safety. Whole families took to their rooftops. For them, the disaster seemed to be unfolding in slow motion. That's often the way with floods, as the water rises slowly and steadily.